Welcome back to another edition of How to Drink's Bar Basics series, where I share tips, tricks, techniques and tools that I've kind of picked up over the years that I think that'll help you make better cocktails at home right now. How to Drink 101 Bar Basics is brought to you by Article. Article makes fantastic mid-century modern inspired furniture. They ship it straight to you, $50 or less, fast, really well-made stuff. I'm using the Oscuro bar and a few other pieces as the backbone of the Article bar, which is the home bar that you have been seeing on the Chaser series for a while. And if you like it and you want to support the show, do me a favor, follow the link in the show description to the How to Drink curated Article shopping list. If you see something you like, you can pick it up. That would be great. And I think you're going to like it. This episode of How to Drink 101 Bar Basics is all about the random gadgets and doohickeys that I think make your bar just a little easier to work. As I said, this week is going to be about the weird odds and ends and gadgets and bric-a-brac that I have collected over the years that make my home bar system easier to manage. You know, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's crap that you don't need, and these are the things that I think actually have been really helpful to me. I have a bunch of my favorite stuff here, and the first one, believe it or not, is this. This is a wine bottle brush. This one has a little bit of rust on it. It's not dirty or anything like that. If you are really serious about getting into home bartending, you're gonna make a lot of syrups, and you will need to reuse and wash out bottles. Bottles that have a small opening, because the cleaner you make these, the longer your syrups, your orgeaux, your infusions, they're gonna stay healthy in the fridge. Adding a little splash of alcohol is probably not gonna cut it. That's sort of an old wives' tale. If you look for a bottle brush, what you're gonna find is for washing a baby bottle that has a big wide open mouth, and you're gonna find yourself like what I was doing, which was cutting the bristles down to try and fit them in there. But this one will fit a little bit of pressure pretty snugly right in there. I don't know if this exact one is still available on Amazon. I will find one that is and is good. The next thing that people are always asking about are these. These are 1 liter bottles. They're glass. They're also called olive oil bottles. They're pretty cheap. I use these primarily for the syrups that I keep in the caddy, which is that wooden thing that you see on the show a lot of times. That was actually a groomsman gift from a wedding that I was co-best man at. What it is it's a wooden 6-pack for like craft beers. These happen to fit in that perfectly. So if you do a hunt for wooden 6-packs, you can fit 6 of these in there perfectly. I tend to keep speed pours on these, and these are nothing fancy. These are really basic, wide open throat speed pours. They don't have any kind of a control mechanism. They're not like a timed to a 1 ounce or a half ounce or a 2 ounce pour. They're just speed pours. Why do I use them? Well, because they restrict airflow to the syrup inside there, and that's kind of, if you're keeping them in the fridge, this is enough to keep it fresh, I find. They prevent the lip from getting all gummed up. They make my pours a little cleaner. As a matter of fact, in season 1, I had these on all my liquor bottles, and we spilled a lot less back then. The one thing you can't put this on is like an orgeau, and you can't put it on something like a gum syrup because it's just not gonna let it pour. The other thing is, now that I've put this on here, it is on there until I get a rag or something to pull it off, because these little guys will cut your fingers right up. There's actually a tool that's like a wrench for pulling these off that is silly. A sink sponge or a dish towel wrapped around this, you can yank these out just fine. You don't need a wrench to pull these out. That is ridiculous. If you get into tiki, you're gonna do a lot with pineapple. This is a stupid kitchen gadget that I resisted buying forever. It's a pineapple core. I bought one finally, and I was like, wow, I was dumb. This is brilliant. Most of those things, egg slicers and avocado parers and the little thing that you take the tops off of strawberries with, nonsense. But for coring pineapples, a pineapple core I find is actually very helpful. Can I process a pineapple without it? Sure. Do I ever want to again? Absolutely not. This is a pretty cheap thing. This is the OXO model. All plastic, has a kind of a ratcheting action, because what you do is you crank this down into the pineapple. Useful. This is a Mallet. I bought this one from Cocktail Kingdom. It's nothing more than a wooden hammer for crushing ice. You put the ice in a Lewis bag or in a dish towel, smash, 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 ice is crushed. Basically, if you don't have a fridge that crushes ice, you gotta crush your ice somehow. And the Mallet is the old school way to do it. It has other uses, but for the most part, I only let it touch ice. You are going to have some syrups that are too thick to put a speed pour on, but you're gonna wanna close them. You need corks. Now, you can get natural corks. I bought a big bag of tasting corks. These are called tea corks, which are what's on mostly whiskey bottles, right? You can pop them on, pop them off. I'm not going to recommend these. These are bad corks. They fall apart very quickly. I have found these, which are these little silicone corks, and they're fantastic. Not too expensive, but they don't fall apart. They're reusable. And they clean very easily. So I like these a lot. I recommend these. The Misto. I use dashes where other people would use a spritz. I am kind of resistant to using a spritz. I don't know why. There's something about spray bottle foods that I find kind of unappetizing. There are some things that this is the only solution for. So what this lets you do is you can put any liquid in this, and then you can pump it up. And now it's a pressurized bottle, and it's effectively a spray on demand. This is filled with Angostura bitters, and I can just spray on demand Angostura bitters out of it as if it was an aerosol can. That is a really fun smell, my God. I think it was a technique invented by Jeff Morgenthaler, but I'm not sure. Basically where you use this to make a bitters flamethrower. The downside is like a match is probably not enough heat to get that going, so you're probably gonna need a kitchen torch. You're probably gonna need a kitchen torch anyway. This is pretty useful for everything. It's way more efficient than a match. You know, if you're trying to do like a flamethrower thing, this is the kind of heat you might need to light this guy up. You're gonna need a muddler. There are some lovely muddlers out there. There's something about the texture of the way that the very nice plastic muddlers are made that feels like it triggers like a nails on a chalkboard response for me. So I prefer just a really basic wooden muddler, which is what this is. I think it was like $4. Drinking straws. Well, you should be very concerned about not using plastic straws anymore. They're very bad for sea turtles and other things that live in the ocean. A lot of the high-end cocktail bars in the city for like about a decade now have been using steel anyway, and I love these. They are easy to clean, believe it or not. They have a little stirring spoon at the end. You can buy these in packs. Stainless steel stirring straws. I will provide a link. You might want a Swizzle Stick. These are made from tree branches. It's a specific bush, and I feel really bad for not knowing this off the top of my head because I just met Martin, who is the Swizzologist, and he taught me everything at Bar Convent Brooklyn about the trees that these come from. But they grow 5 spokes just like that. They have a really cool, fragrant smell. I mean, they're delicious smelling. Whether or not that flavor winds up in your drink is apparently a subject of some debate. And, you know, you pretty simply use in a drink. You just swizzle, swizzle, swizzle. It's a little bit like a manual blender. It aerates the drink in a different way than shaking it would. Swizzles. I would not say a swizzle is a requirement, but they're a nice thing to have. I love this stupid thing because I can't grow mint in my apartment. Mint is supposed to be like the easiest thing to grow ever. I have tried so much. I just don't have enough sunlight in this apartment to grow anything, so I have to buy it at the supermarket and keep it for as long as possible. This little guy is a glass tube, little aeration here, has a basket that you can cut herbs into, and then has like a water thing. I'm not joking. These have been in my fridge for like 4 weeks, and they're basically as fresh as the day I bought them. Everything I tried prior to buying this, my mint was garbage within 72 hours at most. It's not expensive, and I hate wasting stuff like that. Not because it's expensive mint, it's at the supermarket and I gotta go get it. I don't want it. It's a pain in the butt. A lot of you have asked me about this. This is an old 1950s mid-century soda siphon. This is the kind that takes cartridges. But this guy, they don't really have enough pressure in these to really make good CO2. The seals in them, at least in the vintage ones, tend to leak. I did refurb this one, and I have used it to make seltzer, and I can get by with it. It looks cool. It's a neat prop. Doesn't make great seltzer. I have a Sodastream. Put cold water, the colder the better, in here. This works pretty good for me for seltzer on demand. It has a bottle that you can buy and refill and replace, and they go right in here, filled with CO2. This is like the Williams-Sonoma model or something, so probably overpriced. You can definitely get the cheaper one, and the bottles are cheaper to replace too, which is good. If I owned my home and I wasn't renting, I would almost certainly install like a bar system. Something with a large bottle of CO2 under the counter. I don't own this place, so this is the system for me. That's really a rundown of the gadgets that I have acquired that I found to actually be useful. More than you would think, because there's an instinct I find that, yeah, most of those gadgets are garbage. These have actually really helped me a lot. Are there other gadgets that might show up in your bar? Sure. Is this an exhaustive list? No. Will I probably have to update this again down the road? Absolutely. I'm going to provide links to them in the show notes. Costs you nothing extra to use that. I do get a little piece of it, so it helps me make the show if you buy any of that stuff that way. I appreciate it very much. Also be links to this stuff at thisishowtodrink.com/gear. Thanks for watching the show. It's going to be cocktail on Friday. I will see you then. I tweet at How to Drink. I'm on Instagram at How to Drink. I have a Patreon at patreon.com/howtodrink. That's the show. See you Friday with another cocktail. I hope this was useful to you. Bye. All right, that's enough.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure inebriation. Come and see what can be in your glass.